Why are you doing this alone?
Because I am alone. I'm in this chapter of my life that feels like it should be over, but it's not. It's just on a loop.
It's fair to say that a lot of the film does hinge on the chemistry of Patty and Ed and what they bring to the roles and how they interact with each other. So what can you tell me about what it was like to bring them together for the first time? Were you nervous that maybe they wouldn't hit it off, or?
Of course, it's such a weird thing because it's almost like setting two people up on a blind date, but then you also like don't leave. You just like also pull up a chair. So it's just this funny, it was a very funny experience. And of course, like I'm also nervous because it's Ed and Patty, and it's not like I've known them for years or whatever. But we had coffee and they were hilarious, predictably hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just easy for all of us to be together and to talk. And there was like a kind of excitement, like there was an energy. And so it's just like, yeah, our instincts were correct. Like this is the alchemy. And, making a movie in such a short, like finite time is not like unlike the journey that Matt and Anna take. So it's like, we're doing something really intimate in a certain amount of time. And it was interesting to see their working relationship and our working relationship like evolve similarly than Matt and Anna's relationship evolved through the story. So that was really nice. It was a very cool experience.
I wondered if, once you got them in, you kind of saw how that interacted. How did that then shape who Matt and Anna were as people, if at all?
Well, it's so interesting because so many people ask if I wrote the parts specifically for them. And I think that really is a testament to their performances and their chemistry. It's this funny thing because when you're casting, it's like, you try them on in the role in your mind or in your heart or whatever. And it's just like, you feel that click or you don't. And obviously with both Ed and Patty, it was like an immediate click for me. And I was thinking about that. And then for that to be like 100% true, it's like the thing that makes me think of them for the part is also the thing that's drawing them to the script. And so then like you put it all together and it makes the three dimensions or whatever. I knew that Ed had the beautiful vulnerability and humanity that drives all of his performances, no matter how big and hilarious. So I knew that was in there, and that's very much integral to the Matt character. And Patty has this like real magnetism and charm, but also like a saltiness that's like, yeah, come closer, but not so fast. And it's really a magic trick to be able to do that without it feeling like a rejection. It's like, it's an invitation to take your time basically. And that's just like this kind of intangible magic. You either have a handle on that or you don't. And so, it was just it's like the puzzle pieces coming together, and it's like, there they are, the way they were always meant to be.
Tonally, this is very different from your last feature, Stockholm, Pennsylvania. Were you confident in your ability to tell this story that was going to be more overtly comedic?
Yes, well, I am hilarious. So I was really confident in that. I'm great at a party. No, I was a playwright before I was a filmmaker. And with the exception of Stockholm, Pennsylvania, which started as a play, all of my plays are kind of absurdist, very fast-paced comedies. And so it was definitely interesting to try to harness that in like a grounded, earthbound, subtle way. And then of course that's also intimidating when you cast your movie with a bunch of comedic geniuses and you're like, I'm the least funny person on set, but I'm the one telling people, like I'm the one holding the flashlight. So that was also kind of crazy. But yeah, I felt confident in it. I mean, the story it lived in my heart for so long. And I was just like, my only job is to, project it out into the world the way that I've always felt it or seen it.
This one's a little bit of a curveball maybe, but in looking at, I'll admit I was on IMDb, and IMDb tells me that you have an acting credit on Law and Order, Criminal Intent from 2007. And I was like, I have to find out how to watch that. I haven't been able to find the episode, but I'm curious if you could say there was one thing you learned on that set that you were able to apply to this film, what would that have been?
I was like I had one line, one glorious line. But between takes, just joking around, like I really joked around a lot with those main actors, Vincent D'Onofrio especially, and I think the takeaway from that is just like, don't take it all too seriously, and that kind of having a nice rapport and like an energy between takes and on and off the camera just like is nice, because it's I mean, I had one line, but I was there for like 13 hours. And so it's just like, you gotta keep, you gotta stay in it somehow. So just like, kindness and connectivity.
At some point, you will give birth to a child, and then what happens? Just because you're not like together doesn't mean that you haven't created a bond.